Hello and welcome to the Spot Mark-In tutorial. During this tutorial, we will learn to do the following. Detail items for an invoice. Understand the buttons along the bottom of the detail screen. Adjust promise date for an item or order. Manually split an invoice. Edit an item on the invoice. Reopen and edit an invoice. So let's get started. From the Spot home screen, select Detail on the left-hand side of the screen. The Lookup Customer window appears. We will use John Smith for this example. If you have more than one customer with the same name, the system will ask you to verify that you're selecting the correct customer. Once the customer is selected, any reminders will be displayed. This brings us to the detail screen. The left-hand column displays customer information along with options to change the view from item to order, view customer history, or change the type of order from standard to rush. Below that, the live invoice is displayed. The heading on the invoice shows basic information for the customer and order, including what price table is being used, what route or store the order is being created in, and any preferences set by the customer. The right side of the window is where you will select and detail an item. To detail an item, you will start at the top of the window and select Department, then Category, then the specific item. This brings up options to add properties to an item such as color, brand, pattern, as well as note any damage to the item. These additional descriptors are optional. The level of detail required at Mark-In will be up to the owner or manager of your store. Upcharges are located on the right-hand side of the screen. You may select multiple upcharges to add additional costs to each item based on its attributes. Once you are satisfied with the details of the item, you'll indicate how many of the item you have. If you have only one of the item, you may skip this step, as Spot selects one by default. Now you will select Next Item and you will be taken back to the item selection screen where you will repeat the process for each item you are marking in. If you have selected the wrong item, you may use the toggle button to switch between the item selection screen and the detail screen. To edit an item that is already on the ticket, double-click the item on the live invoice and use the item view window to adjust what you need. As you can see, the workflow of the item view is a little different than the main detail window, but all the options are there. Alternately, you may click the item in the invoice and then click the Clear Item button, then simply re-input the item. To manually split an order into multiple invoices, click Split. Some systems will be set up to automatically split orders based on certain criteria. You will notice that many of the buttons at the bottom of the screen have item or order in their name. This tells you whether the associated action will affect the entire order or the individual item that you have selected in the live invoice. For example, you may change the promise date for an individual item or the entire order by selecting one of these two buttons. The remaining buttons allow you to add coupons, or enter a comment about the item or the order, apply an adjustment to an item or the order, modify an item's price, add an alteration, or scan a heat seal label that has been applied to the item. Once all items are marked in, click Finish. An invoice will print, along with tags if you're using a tag printer. If you discover you have made an error on the order, you could simply go to Recent Activities on the Production tab. Double-click the order, and double-click any item you need to edit. You can also void an order from this window. The other buttons on this page are outside of the scope of the tutorial, but most are self-explanatory. We have now learned the basics of marking in items. With a bit of practice, this will become quick and efficient. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and take care.